Hey folks, how you doing? Hope everything's going well. In this video, you're going to see something a little bit different than I've ever done before, and it's going to be a little bit of a surprise, so I'm not going to wait too long to make you get there. But this is something unique, and not something I've seen a lot of videos on here in the US. I should give you a clue. So sit back, enjoy, and we're all going to learn together on this one, I believe. Although, you know, it is what it is. So without any more ado, let's stop and let's let you see what's going on. And here it comes. Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Ron. Hope everybody's doing well. And we're going to start a different kind of series here today. What you're looking at is the service sheet for a Pye radio, P-Y-E. It's called a Pye Piper, and it's a type P116U. And here's a clue where it's from. It's a 5-valve transportable for AC or DC mains operation. There's some key words in there that'll tell you that it's not from the United States. These radios are actually from England, and they were sent to me by our good friend Phil, otherwise known as Steel City 321 PB. And Phil had two of these radios and asked me if I would be interested in trying to restore them. And of course I would, and I promised Phil that when I do that I'm going to make a video series out of it. So we're going to dive into these. There's actually two of them. One of them sustained a little bit of damage some long time ago, and the other one is quite restorable. But we're going to restore both, and that's going to be an interesting thing to do. We're going to restore one to work on 110, directly off the wall in the United States, and the other one we're going to see if we can build that one to use a UK type mains. So that's going to be the challenge on this. I still don't know a lot about this company. I know that it's, I think, the kind of the equivalent of Philco, as far as, you know, the types of radios that they produced. This particular one, I believe, is from the 1940s, the early 1940s, and it's a 5-valve radio. You notice I'm using the word valve here. It has a frequency charger, an IF amplifier, a detector, and an LF amp, an output, and a rectifier. So we're gonna get into this a little bit. Let's see, what else can I tell you? Runs on 225 volt mains. And we'll get more into this, but I have a full diagram here. It is a printed circuit board, and I'll show you the radios in a moment. And it's got everything clearly marked. Should be pretty easy to do. And we're gonna see what we could do here. We have a full schematic right here. So let's pop these things on the bench and take a look at them. I haven't completely opened them yet because I wanted to save it for this video. So let's get to that. So this also lists, by the way, all the components: condensers, resistors, inductances, transformers, switches, and miscellaneous. So let's put them on the bench and we'll take a good look at them. Of course, before I do that, Phil sent me a very detailed note here, very detailed, of what I need to know about these radios, and of course I deeply appreciate that. And this is going to come in handy for me, so we'll put that aside for now. Okay, here's the first radio. This is the one that apparently has sustained some damage, and I have to compliment Phil on his packing job. This is not how it came. I took all the packing out of it. But Phil did a phenomenal job packing these things and getting them over here to me. Absolutely no damage. Everything worked out exactly as it should have. And we've got all of our tubes individually wrapped in here, or our valves, I should say. And we'll take those out so you can get a good look. Let's take a zoom in here. Okay, and you'll see that it uses 9-pin tubes. And you can see this one definitely had some water damage at some point. It's coated in soot. And we'll fix that when we restore this one. Seems to have maybe a 4-inch oval speaker that we're going to take a look at. There is a line cord here with the end cut off. And we have a little bit of rust. This is a ballast resistor. And then let's take a look at the sides. I'll pull this up a little bit. So the wood veneer on this is actually pretty good. It's just the chassis. Here's the top. Here's the front. You'll see there's no frills here, but it has a nice grill cloth. Has a very nice dial. There's obviously parts missing, but we'll see if they're packed in the other one. If not, we'll improvise. And there's some type of vinyl coating on this on the front that's peeling up, so we'll be able to clean that and put it back down. And our controls come through the front. And on these radios, typically there's a tube chart here, or a valve chart that's mounted on the bottom, and we'll see that on the other radio. And you'll see here, just by turning this on its back, that we've got a few wooden parts here, but that's okay. And here's some of the flakes of soot that have come off the chassis. And here's the second one. This one I haven't opened yet, so we're going to open that now and see what's going on in here. One thing I'm positive is that Phil did a great job packing this thing. That's I'm absolutely sure of. So here's the back, and you can read something very interesting here. It seems to have a jumper that you can set for AC or DC. Well, on this particular radio, if we set the jumper for DC, we can run the tubes at 117 volts, which means it'll work on the US current. Now, B plus is not going to be enough, but it'll be enough to run the radio. So we're going to try that. So what else do we have in here? Phil's given us some grill cloth and some covering. This is really nice. It's a nice piece of vinyl. That will definitely come in handy. This is like Christmas morning here. This looks like a dial glass and a pointer right here. There's one, there's two, so we have it for both radios. We even have some silica gel so we don't have moisture. What do we have in here? Spare valves. Packed really, really well. Did a great job. Let's see, let's continue. We have a piece of line cord. Wow, Phil, you did a good job, man. Thank you. This is nice. Here we have, looks like some valve sockets, spare valve sockets, in case we need them. Okay. Then we have some more valves here for this set, tucked in here nicely. And right here we have grill cloth. So we've got a nice green grill cloth that'll match that green vinyl. Very cool. Boy, Phil, you really outdid yourself on this one. You have a bag of capacitors. I'm sure these are better than the crap that I buy here in the US. 0.022s, 400 volts. Those will definitely come in handy. And then tucked down in here, we have our knobs. Oh, I see something else down there. Hold on. Let's get these knobs out. Maybe we can coax them out this way. And we have one more right here. I don't want to damage that antenna. Okay, we have one more down here which I will retrieve later. We have a mains plug And you can see we have a typical British plug here. I always wondered why their plugs were so much bigger than ours. And this one appears to be fused. That's good to know. And when we take a look at the chassis, you'll see here it doesn't have nearly as much dirt as the other one did. It's relatively clean, actually, compared to the other one. So this one will be obviously easier to restore. And I told you about the jumper. This appears to be the jumper that you can select which voltage you're running this thing on. So this is how we're going to do our first test after we change all the resistors and capacitors that need to be changed. There is a, let's see, how many parts is this thing? It looks like it's a 2-section cap right there. We have our IF cans right here, and it looks like the adjustments are here in the front, which makes it convenient. And our speaker looks like an R&A speaker. Have to do some research and find what that is, but made in England. Let's take a look at the front of this thing, see what it looks like. Here's the top. Looks like there's a little piece of veneer here that's missing. We can fix that. This side looks good. Here's the bottom. And you can see we do have a valve chart here. Zoom in on that so you can see it. Tells you exactly what the valves are. And notice that the names of the valves are very different than what I'm used to, at least. And then as we look at the front, you can see we have a piece of grill cloth here that's seen better days. Let's zoom out. It's all indented. That's fine. And we have this this vinyl again that's mounted on the front. And I think what we'll do on this one is, being that Phil gave us the green vinyl, we'll replace it. This is almost like Tolexing an amp, which I've done many times already, so it's very simple to do. And this will make this thing look really good with the green and the green grill cloth. Let's see. We have medium wave, long wave, and I think it's only 2 bands. Let me make sure. Yeah, looks like it. LF and MW, so I assume that that's medium wave, and LF I assume would be the equivalent of broadcast, but who knows? We'll find out. We got a long way to go yet on this thing. So this should be interesting, and if you want to come along for the ride, please do. Phil also gave me an extra British power outlet and an extra cord in case I want to use that, just to give it that retro look, the way it was intended to be used. So we've got that. And I think as far as how we're going to start the series in the next episode is we're going to take the chassis out of this one. We're going to inspect it, see what's there. We'll take a look at the underneath. We'll take a look at the circuit cards, the components that are in there, and then we'll start to change out some of the components, and we may be able to do a first test. So that'll be coming up in the next episode. I'm also curious to know these valves, if I can test them on my tube tester. I just don't know if it supports that. I just don't know. Probably not, but it'll be worth some time to investigate it and find out. And there's nothing special about them. They're just valves, right? Or tubes, as we say here. So let's see if we can get one of these out and you can take a look at it. I don't think there's anything special. It's a UBC 41. One thing I love about British radios is they have those red tubes with the red paint on them. That's really cool. I remember when I saw Phil's first video. So this is what our next project's going to be. So we have a pair of Pye Piper, and the model again is P116U. And if you're interested in seeing how we restore this, stick around, because we're going to go through it together and learn. And when I come back in the next episode, I'll know a little bit more about this company, hopefully, and share it with you. So I want to first of all make a huge shout out to Phil for sending these over. I really do appreciate it. He's a fine gentleman, and I really appreciate the fact that he sent these over to me to do. And it's going to be my honor to restore them and get them working. And we're going to make them almost as brand new as we can. So thank you, Phil. Really appreciate it, my friend. And if any of you have any experience with these Pye radios, let me know. I'm happy to work together with all of you and share. We're all going to learn together. All right? So that's going to do it for this episode. Just wanted to introduce them. I'll be putting something up shortly. I do have a gig on Saturday, so this weekend is a little bit of a wash for me as far as electronics and making videos, but I'll do my best. All right? Everyone have a wonderful evening, and again, thank you, Phil. Take care, guys.